Happy Spookies, everybody, and I just want to talk about Nicolas Cage. I've been watching some of his movies lately. I watched Pay the Ghost, which I thought wasn't bad. It was one of the Blu-rays that I got. I watched 8mm, Snake Eyes, and I watched Knowing. Let's talk about this. I don't really have a plan for this video. It's going to be kind of falling off the top of my head. The first one I want to talk about is Snake Eyes. I thought this was excellent. Filmed by Brian De Palma, who I just love. And I'm so glad I've been watching his movies. So this is all about corrupt cop Nicolas Cage. He is at a boxing match. He's got hella money bet on somebody. And all of a sudden somebody is assassinated like right behind him. And they end up catching the person who does the shooting. But just things start to not add up. And Nicolas Cage starts doing a little investigating. And he starts to uncover a conspiracy. Excellent movie. Wow. One of my favorite things about this movie is its setting. It is all in this like fucking stadium. So you're just going around different levels, different parts of it. There's only like 1 or 2 times where they like step outside, but even then they're not too far outside of the stadium. I love the setting of this movie. Also, it's Brian De Palma, dude. The way he just able to tell a story. You know, he tells it in one perspective, but then we see it from another angle and things like that. We see like the split screen. Oh, I love Brian De Palma. And it's got Nicolas Cage. You gotta love it, dude. It also had that dude Tony Soprano in it. That's not his name. It's just the character name. All right, the next one I want to talk about is Pay the Ghost. This one was a letdown just because we didn't get some crazy Nicolas Cage. I was expecting Nicolas Cage freak out, but no. This hit hard, to be honest. First, like 20-30 minutes of the movie hit me hard because I am just a brand new dad. And this is all about Nicolas Cage. He's like a professor. He ends up getting tenure. He comes home a little late. They were supposed to go trick-or-treating because it's a Halloween. His wife, you can tell she's a little salty about it. The kid wants to go to like this like sort of late night carnival. And he's like, let me take him. Come on, please. And she's like, all right, fine. And while he's there, throughout the beginning of the movie, you know, the kid's seeing like weird ass birds and shit. They're like vultures or something like that, but he's seeing birds and stuff. You're getting like odd vibes throughout the movie with the kid. And while they're there, they're like buying ice cream or something like that. Nicolas Cage is holding the kid's hand the whole time, okay? My kid just woke up. Let's go. All of a sudden, the kid sees a bird and the dad's trying to order. And the kid's just like, Dad, can we pay the ghost? And Nicolas Cage is like, what? Let me get an ice cream sundae. And then when he goes to give him the ice cream, dude, the kid is just completely vanished. This is the part that hit hard for me. Him just desperately looking and calling out for his kid, dude. Man, being a parent really changes your perspective on a lot of things, especially when you watch a movie. Things just hit a lot differently, and this one definitely hit a lot different. Now I was just like, man, I was like looking at my girlfriend like, I cannot imagine. The part where he comes home, and because he comes to a cop, and the cop's like, well, do you live around here? He probably just went home. He goes to his house, and the wife's like, what happened? And he's like, I don't know. I can't find him. She's like, so you just left him there? I was like, that's fucked up. So then both of them go out there looking for him, and it sucks, dude. After the cops come and, you know, take their statements, the wife is just completely distant and cold to him. And I mean, I understand why, and I don't even want to think about that, to be honest. But man, and it turns into this very supernatural thing. I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, it's a little bit of supernatural elements toward the end. But it was fine. It was some mid. It wasn't, you know. 8mm was fucked up. This is a David Fincher movie, I believe. Jeez Louise. It's all about like this private eye. I think he's like a private detective. I don't know. He's something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. And he ends up getting a call for like this investigation of this like, I don't know if it was a political figure. Somebody rich, some rich white guy basically died or something. And in his belongings, they found this 8mm tape, and it's what seems to be a snuff film. So they want Nicolas Cage to basically find out where the tape came from, who's on the tape, and why the husband even has this fucking thing. It was a dark movie. It was really gritty. I mean, the subject matter that they talk about, because he ends up having to look for snuff films. So he ends up coming across Joaquin Phoenix character, who I just enjoyed so much in this movie. I loved Joaquin Phoenix in this movie. Oh man.
Sir, could I interest you in a battery-operated vagina?
Well, it's tempting, but no thanks.
Okay. I'd hate to see you caught in one of those everyday situations that calls for a battery-operated vagina and you just don't have one, you know what I mean?
I'll risk it.
But they end up going to like some underground type of like VHS place. Just like the little signs of the sections of the VHS, just like fucked up. There's like a section for kids, and you already know what that is. But yeah, it just left a very, very weird like feeling afterwards. Like type of shit like where you just, I want to take a shower. I don't feel right, you know? He ends up finding out like the reason why. He wants to know, why does this guy have this tape? You know, why does he have it? And the basic explanation is because he can. He can afford some fucked up shit like that. That's it. He's not part of a fucking like sex cult, pedophilia cult, or nothing, and he can just afford snuff films, and he just bought one. It's fucked up. Of course, there's like a little conspiracy going on, but yeah, 8mm was fucked up, dude. Okay, well, she started crying and waking up, so I had to come grab her, and I really want to finish this video. So the last movie I really want to talk about is Knowing, which came out in 2009. Now, if you're not familiar with this movie, I wasn't too familiar with it at all. I don't really see people talking about this too much, too. So this movie's all about this class in the 1950s that's doing this project where they're going to do a time capsule. And they all have to draw pictures, but there's this one girl, I believe her name is Lucinda, that for some reason, she's just maniacally writing numbers. All these random ass numbers, one after another, full page of numbers, but she doesn't get to finish because the teacher gets a little impatient. Everybody's done except for her. She gets taken the paper away, and they end up putting the capsule underground. Later on, that same day, I think she ends up going missing. Everybody's looking for her, and the teacher finds her somewhere, like basically finishing off the numbers that she had to write on a door with like the blood on her fingers or something, right? So anyways, 50 years later, we have Nicolas Cage, who his son is the lucky person that gets the envelope of Lucinda's with the numbers. Everybody else, even the kid comes up to him, he's like, oh, what did you get? And he shows him like, loser. Everybody got a picture. Nicolas Cage's son takes it home when he wasn't supposed to, and Nick Cage sees it. Now, I believe Nick Cage is some sort of college professor. So later on that night, after Nicolas Cage puts his kid to sleep, and he's told him, hey, you know, you're not supposed to take that paper. You gotta give it back tomorrow. He ends up looking at it. He's like a professor. I think he deals with numbers or something. He just starts writing out the first few numbers he sees. He kind of figures out it's a date, and it's the 9/11 date, and it says like 9/11/2001, and then there's like a number 2000 something something, and he looks up 9/11 and he sees that the number, the 4 digits after the date, is the death toll. So essentially what this paper is all these fucking disasters that have happened or are gonna happen, because the last few ones are like dates that haven't happened yet. There's also another set of numbers after the death toll, and he's not sure what it is, but he finds out that it's like longitude and latitude numbers, and he's at the place where the next disaster is supposed to be. So he gets out of his car. If he didn't get out of his car right here, this fool would have died 100%. He gets out of his car because there's like a roadblock up ahead. There's like a car accident. All of a sudden, this plane just crashes and like wipes out like half the cars that were just sitting there. This is probably the best scene in the whole fucking movie, to be honest. But I loved it. It was just him trying to run over there and trying to help people. It looked nuts, dude. It looked absolutely nuts, of like people burning, people exploding. But this is where he kind of figures out like, holy shit, dude, these are disasters that are gonna happen, and now I know the day, the death number, where it's gonna happen. So he's trying to prevent everything from happening. I wasn't sure what to expect. I'm like, how is this gonna end, dude? How is Nicolas Cage supposed to stop a disaster from happening? And like the last one has a date and it says EE, and you find out, it's probably spoilers. EE means everyone else. A huge apocalyptic disaster is gonna come. So how do you stop that, dude? You don't. The whole time there's also these weird ass people like coming around Nick Cage's house, and they're coming around his kid. So my thought was, okay, this is obviously a cult, and there's like some sort of like end of the world cult, or there's some sort of like trying to save the world cult. But you know what happens, dude?
No, okay, I'm not saying it's space aliens, right? But it goes without saying it's fucking space aliens.
They come to like select a few people, and they end up taking the kids, but not Nicolas Cage. And it's sad, dude. You get to see the whole world. Essentially, what's happening is the sun is like, I don't know, something's gonna happen with the sun, and it's gonna release like this solar flare that's essentially gonna burn our fucking ozone layer. So we're all just gonna fucking burn and die.
Super flare in our own solar system. A 100 microtesla wave of radiation that would destroy our ozone layer.
Which is exactly what happens at the end of the movie. Literally, he goes back to his parents' house. He makes peace. It's sad, bro. And they're all just there hugging it out. And you just see the entire earth just get burnt up, dude. It's nuts. All while these spaceships are taken away. There's like multiple ships. They get taken to like another planet. The very last scene where like the kids are on a different planet was a little cheesy. But before that, I just thought everything was excellent. But yeah, that's my video. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and shut up. Say hi, mamas. Happy spookies.
You lied.